Erin, where the hell are ya? My mum wants you home immediately. She's been looking for you forever.
Hi, Nick. Do you know what Anne needs from me, or are you home with her? I thought you were going to be out late tonight.
Of course I'm not home yet. I'm still at work. She's been calling me to ask where the hell you are. You haven't been keeping an eye on your phone, have you?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize she's been calling me so many times. I've been driving.
Why the hell are you not home with her? You know you're responsible for taking care of your handicapped mother-in-law. Why can't you even keep track of your calls? I always have to tell you what to do. Get it together, woman. I told you I won't tolerate any slacking from you.
I'm sorry, I wasn't slacking. I did tell her that I was going out for groceries. Perhaps she forgot that I told her. Do you know why she needs me so urgently? I know she needs help sometimes, but it's not like she needs me every second, even when I am home. She was walking around the house just this morning, too.
Excuse me? Are you talking back at me? Do you have a problem with my mother?
No, I don't have a problem, but I'm just telling you. Who else is going grocery shopping if I don't? I can't take care of your mother while doing 100% of the chores around the house. It's impossible for me to do everything perfectly.
Do you think you're allowed to slack off? I don't think so. You know you have a seriously low standard. Do you have no sense of responsibility? It's your job to take care of my mum and the house. Do your role. So do your job. If you're the only one who can get groceries, then do it fast while my mum's asleep.
Nick, you never help me with anything. You don't understand how much I do. Besides, your mom is so angry all the time. Do you know how tired I am, both physically and mentally?
How tired you are. I work day and night to feed all of you. You get to do the easy stuff, so stop complaining. Bet my mum's angry all the time because you're so useless. But it's a good thing if she can release her stress by yelling at you. At least she knows how to manage her stress.
Well, I don't know what to say. Anyway, why does Anne need me? Is everything okay?
Oh, she's hungry. She needs food. You need to get back and make her something.
Now? She just had some fruits before I left. I'm not done with the groceries yet. And I still need to run some errands before heading home.
Why the hell should I care? Stop complaining and do as she says. Taking care of her should be your top priority. She's asking you to cook, then shut up and just do it.
You two are being impossible. Listen to yourself, Nick.
It's your job. That's what you signed up for, so get on with it. Do you understand? Go home now and make us something to eat.
Fine, I will. I'll get back as soon as possible.
Where's Carrie, by the way?
She went to babysit right after school. She said she won't be back until late tonight.
Babysit? Why isn't she studying? She's the one who started saying she wants to go off to college. She should be studying her ass off instead of playing around with kids.
She is studying, Nick, very hard. In fact, she studies as soon as the kids go to bed. Don't worry, she knows what she's doing.
I'm the one paying for all the tests and application fees. I'll not be happy if she gets a bad score on the next set, and I'm not wasting any more money if she does poorly.
I said she is studying, Nick. Please don't say anything like that to her directly. It would only hurt her so much if she heard you say such things. You don't know how hard she pushes herself.
It's not just her who needs to work hard. You remember our promise, don't you? If you don't care of my mum or do all the chores right, I will not pay for her college. Do you understand?
I do. You don't have to remind me. Please, just don't say anything to her. I will keep my promise.
Fine then. Just go home right now and make my mum something to eat. If she throws a fit, it's all on you. Erin, is Carrie home already?
No, she's at the store working today. Why, is everything okay?
No, not everything is okay. What the hell's up with her this morning? She completely ignored me. How can she be so disrespectful to her own father?
Nick, you were being unfair to her too, though. You were persuading her to take care of your mom, although you were watching TV, and she was clearly getting ready to leave. I told you I will handle your mother. You shouldn't have been so pushy with her.
She didn't have school today. Wherever the hell she was headed, it shouldn't have been more important than my mum.
I told you last night she had a morning shift today. She is very busy shuffling between her part-time job and studying while also keeping up with schoolwork. I wish you would be a bit easier on her. Why did you ask her to take care of Anne today anyway? You know I will do it myself.
'Cause Mum said she wants Carrie, not you. Poor Mum. She just wants to spend time with her granddaughter. But Carrie acted so rude to me and just brushed me off. It was unacceptable. It's your fault, you know. What did you do? Raise Carrie into a twisted teenager like that? Have you not taught her to respect her father?
Nick, Carrie is a sweet girl, but she's also very busy. She studies every day and works hard so that she can support herself a bit. She has a lot on her plate for a 17-year-old. Did you even bother to ask if she was available to help today before pushing your mom onto her? Because from what I saw, you didn't. You have to listen to her first, Nick.
Seriously, Erin? You blaming me for her attitude? Who the hell do you think you are? To think of it, she gets it from you. You don't understand your position in this family, that's why Carrie's confused about hers. You two need to get your priorities straight very quickly. I'm fine not paying for college, you know.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please don't threaten her that you won't pay tuition. I will talk to her about this matter and make sure she understands to respect you. That'll be enough, right?
Excuse me? Why do you think you get to decide what's enough for me and what isn't? That's not the right attitude to ask for forgiveness, is it?
I'm sorry, I will rephrase myself. I will make sure to talk to Carrie, so please forgive her.
Is that it? Don't you have anything more to say?
I am happy to do whatever you want me to. I am at your service, and your mother, of course. So please use me instead of Carrie.
Well then, I'll let Carrie off the hook for now, but there's no next time. If she disrespects me like that again, I'm serious about not letting her go to college. I'll not spend a dime on such a rude child. But I meant myself clear.
Yes, Crystal. I won't let it happen. Just please leave her at peace.
As long as she understands her place, I won't. But like I said, it's all on you now, Erin. She'll be the one to pay if you don't teach her right. She's not a toddler anymore. Carrie needs to understand that she'll embarrass herself if she doesn't learn the correct manners. So you better set a good example and make sure she gets it.
Yes, sir. Nick, why aren't you picking up my calls? Please reply as soon as you see this message. I'm sorry to say, but your mother passed away.
What? Is this some kind of bad joke? Where is she now? What the hell happened?
You should sit down for a second. We're at the hospital in town. Do you think you can get off work to come see her?
Sit down? What am I supposed to chill out after hearing my own mother's dead? Why the hell are you so calm anyway?
I'm sorry that you're upset. We've known that her time was coming, though, Nick. The doctor spoke to you, too. She has been doing well recently, but you knew her body could have given in any time. It's very unfortunate that it came a lot quicker than expected. She collapsed at home out of the blue. It was sudden, but we've been alarmed.
Why didn't you call me when she collapsed?
I did, as I am sure you remember. But you just yelled not to call during work hours and hung up. You didn't even bother to ask why I was calling. Even when I messaged you about your mom being taken to the hospital, you just messaged back saying I was responsible of taking care of her and brushed me off.
What? That's because you didn't make it clear that she was dying. Besides, how can you be so cool about it? I mean, my mum is dead.
I'm sorry if I seem cool. But I guess I have been around her enough to know that she wasn't going to be long. And now that she has passed, I guess I kind of lost my tension. It's been quite tough for me these past couple of months taking care of her.
How dare you, Erin? You saying it's good that she's gone? Because you'll get it easy now.
No, of course not. I'm just saying I'm burnt out.
I bet you mean that you're glad she's gone now. She's only trouble to you, wasn't she? I know you've always despised her. You must be dancing right now. You are such a bitch.
If you must think of me like that, then help yourself. I don't have the energy to argue for myself right now, so are you coming to the hospital or what?
I beg your pardon. What the hell is wrong with you? How dare you have an attitude of me? There's something seriously wrong with you, Erin. I bet you're probably the reason why my mum's dead now. Don't you feel responsible for what happened at all? Shouldn't you be apologising to me for not being able to save her?
Apologize to you? The only thing wrong about this situation is your attitude, Nick, not mine. All you've been doing since you found out that your mother passed away is complain about me. If you care about your mom at all, stop messaging me and just come to the hospital already. She is gone, but I'm sure she would appreciate you by her side. Or are you too busy for her?
Cut it out, woman. Enough. Don't act like you know better than me. You know what? I'm sick of talking to you. You do no good for me or my mum. Anyway, I'm heading there now.
Yes, please do. She would be pleased.
Shut up. Don't you dare speak on behalf of her. You know nothing about her. She's so useless, it's unbelievable. I have to think about her funeral now, because I can't let an irresponsible person like you handle her ceremony.
I will apologize if my attitude has bothered you that much, but let's fight later, Nick. Now is not the best time. You know we'll have to shuffle things around to send her off appropriately.
So you want to scold me now? I don't need you to tell me that. I get a headache talking to you. Anyway, I'm getting in my car now. I'll have you follow my directions regarding the funeral and all the other paperwork. You will do exactly as I say. Do I make myself clear?
Sure. I will stay by her side until you arrive then.
This is a nightmare. Everyone is calling me for an explanation about what our daughter did at the funeral. Especially my uncle. He's furious. You know, keeping him happy is top priority for me. This is all your fault, woman. It's because you didn't raise her right. Why do I have to pay for your failure?
This must be about Carrie laughing at the funeral. Honestly, I never dreamed she would do such a thing. I was completely shocked.
So was I. I mean, the girl was nearly choking from laughing so hard. What the hell is wrong with her? She on drugs or something? I've never been so embarrassed in my entire life.
You better have slapped her for what she did. I've spoken to her about it. She told me why she was laughing so hard in front of everyone. She's at home now with me. I am so sorry for what she's done.
Your apology means nothing to me. How are you going to make it go away, huh? Everyone thinks I'm a horrible father and son for letting that happen. She ruined my reputation.
Well, I can't make it go away, obviously. What's done is done. You'll have to live with it.
Excuse me? What the hell? Erin, do you understand the seriousness of all this? You should feel responsible. This is your fault. I will not let her get away with this, I swear.
Well, what are you going to do?
I disown her. I no longer accept her as my daughter. How can she act so ridiculously at her own grandmother's funeral? The child is evil. She's old enough to get a part-time job, so she must be able to take care of herself. I'm kicking her out of the house. As of today. You have to tell her to pack her things.
Are you being serious?
Of course I am. If she doesn't pack her stuff, then toss everything out the door. I refuse to live with an evil child. She's not my daughter anymore. Don't let her in the house, even if she tries to come back.
Okay, I can understand why you wouldn't want to live with her anymore. What happened was indeed inappropriate. I will let her know that she will no longer be living with you.
I thought you would whine for her forgiveness. I guess you finally come to your senses. Well then, get on with it now. Shoo the evil child out of my house.
Oh, but it's not her who's being kicked out of the house. You are. Carrie and I will be living in this house alone from here on. You are no longer welcome, so please don't come back.
What? Are you crazy? What the hell are you talking about?
Why don't you understand? There's nothing strange about what I'm saying. But in case you have forgotten, let me remind you that this house belonged to my parents before we moved in. I am the sole current owner of this property. So legally, you don't have any right to kick anyone out. But I do. The only crazy thing about this is that I didn't kick you out sooner.
What? No. Why on earth would you kick me out? I've done nothing wrong. Carrie is the one in trouble right now. We were just talking about kicking her out because she was acting ridiculous at my mother's funeral.
I don't think she's in any trouble. In fact, we are the ones to blame. Don't you see, we broke her, Nick, to the point where she would lose herself at her grandmother's funeral. We are responsible, not her.
What are you trying to get at, huh?
Nick, why do you think she was laughing so hard at the funeral? Have you even thought of why she would do such a thing before calling her evil?
How the hell should I know? All I know is she has absolutely no manners, and that is not on me. It's on you for not raising her right.
All right, fine then. You can blame her manners on me. But that is not the reason why she did what she did.
Well, what was it then? Go on, just tell me.
She was laughing because she knew that I wouldn't suffer anymore.
What? Suffer?
That's right. You have no idea how ashamed I am of myself right now. All this time, I have tolerated you and your mother's nonsense because I wanted to protect her. I wanted her to go to college if that's what she wished to do. So I had to cling on to you to pay for the fees.
See, you're such a loser. You admit that you can't do anything without me.
Call me whatever you please, but that's not the point. You see, she never wanted me to tolerate the bullying. All she wished for is that I live in peace. I never knew that's how she felt for years. I told myself I was doing everything for her, but she didn't need any of my protection because she is a strong and smart girl.
Oh, boo-hoo. You want me to cry a river for you? All that stupid drama is between you and Carrie. That has nothing to do with me. You choose to live the way you do. There's no reason to kick me out.
Well, there is now. You're right that I have to choose to live the way I do. But from now on, I will be wiser and do whatever I think is best for both myself and Carrie. So for starters, I am kicking you out. I will not tolerate any of your bullying anymore. Because now I understand that being a slave to you only hurts Carrie.
Cut the crap. Now, you can't kick me out. Who do you think paid for your living all this time? You'd be on the streets if it weren't for me.
Listen to yourself, Nick. Don't you realize how poisonous you are? You don't treat me with any respect. I don't ever want to be around such a person. So I am filing for divorce.
Divorce? Seriously, Erin, who the hell do you think you are? I'll never allow that to happen. Do you understand?
No, I don't. Frankly, I don't care about what you would or wouldn't allow. It's really not up to you anymore anyway. All I know is that I wish for Carrie and I to live in peace without you. I will leave it up to the law now on how that will happen.
So you're serious, huh?
Of course I am. It is clear in my mind that I can no longer be your wife. When was the last time you treated me like I'm your wife anyway? You're not even nice to Carrie, so there's no reason for us to keep you.
Keep me? Well, you got some nerve to say that. I don't think you understand that I'd never pay for her college if you file for divorce. Is that what you want? For Carrie to pay for your mistake? What an horrible mother. You're going to snatch her dream in exchange for your freedom.
You should stop underestimating her. She is so much smarter than you think. Carrie is so mature. She does not need our help anymore.
What do you mean she don't need our help? Of course she does. How is she going to pay for school?
Do you know why she's been taking on so many shifts at her part-time job? Or why she's been babysitting all her teachers' children? It's because she's been saving money to pay for her tuition, so that she doesn't have to depend on you anymore. She's been doing the impossible so she could free me and herself from you.
She's been saving money for college. Sure, that's not possible. All she has is a skimpy part-time job that don't pay much.
You're right. She hasn't saved up enough to pay for 4 full years. But once I get a divorce from you, you will have to pay me my divisions. And on top of that, I will be asking for consolation money. That will be more than enough for me to cover the remaining amount. So threatening her that you won't pay for her tuition won't mean anything.
Consolation money? Why the hell do I have to pay you consolation money? If at all, I'm the one who should be asking you for divorcing me out of the blue.
Don't act stupid, Nick. You know you have no chance of getting away from what you've done to me. You have morally harassed me all these years with your mother. It's too bad she's not around anymore to pay her part. And by the way, consolation money is just one small part of my revenge, so be prepared.
What? Erin, what on earth are you planning to do?
I am going to ruin your precious reputation. We owe an explanation to your family members who were at the funeral anyway, don't we? Especially to your favorite uncle who is so important to you, right? So I'm going to tell them the truth of why Carrie acted the way she did. Because what she did was wrong, but that doesn't mean she's a bad person. So by telling the truth to your family kills 2 birds with 1 stone for me. 1, I get to ruin you, and 2, I save my daughter's dignity.
No, don't you dare. Why would you do such an horrible thing? I just lost my mother. I'd lose everyone else if you tell them I've been bullying you. How can you be so cruel to me?
I realize I've been protecting Carrie the wrong way as a mother, but I finally know how to make things right. and that is to keep you away from Carrie. In order to make that happen and to keep it that way, I will do anything.
I don't believe any of this. You are insane. I lost my mum. I'm being divorced. I'm losing my money. And on top of it all, you want me to lose everyone else. What else do you wish? For me to die alone?
Frankly, yes, that's what I want. You have been a horrible father and husband. You treated us like trash, Nick. Now it's your turn to understand what it feels like to be treated like trash. Shortly after, I was able to get a divorce from Nick, thanks to the help from his family who found out what Carrie and I have been going through for years. Carrie's reputation was saved among the family, and she even got a few offers to help out if she needed. Nick's uncle, who is a very powerful man, was especially understanding and even apologized for how his sister and nephew has treated us over the years. I don't exactly know what he did to make Nick obey, but he put a lot of pressure on him that he ended up giving in to what Carrie and I requested without much fight. He did try to lower the consolation money, but since I had all the messages saved on my smartphone app, I was able to prove his brutal treatment towards me. In the end, he gave up and signed the papers to pay exactly what I had asked for. My lawyer suggested to ask for child support aside from the consolation, but Carrie firmly refused to go to school on his money. She argued that the consolation money was what he owed me, so if I wanted to pay for her tuition out of it, it was my choice, which she would gratefully accept. But she did not want to feel like she owed her father for anything, so we decided not to go after child support. After paying me my divisions on top of the consolation money, Nick didn't have anything left. I heard rumors that he is living a miserable, lonely life with no friends or family. I don't feel sorry for him because I truly believe that he only got what he deserves. Carrie and I still live in the house passed down from my parents. About a year after the divorce, she chose and got into a competitive college close enough for her to commute from home so that we can save more money. She enjoys campus life to the fullest, having made new friends and learning so much already. Despite having a rough childhood, she has become a wise and caring young adult, and I am so proud to have such a daughter. I've made the mistake of hurting her by letting people bully me, but that won't happen again. Like I said to Nick, I will do anything to keep her safe and happy as long as I live.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey Heather, I just finished work and I'm about to leave. Oh, so hot today. I feel extra exhausted. What are we having for supper today?
Hey John, I'm so sorry. Do you mind picking something up for yourself tonight? I couldn't prepare anything.
Why?
My morning sickness is really bad and I can't cook anything. I feel sick just by the smell of food.
Seriously? Ugh, so tired today, so I was hoping I'd come straight home.
I'm sorry, but I really don't feel well enough to cook today. I hope you do understand. Do you want me to order something for delivery?
Delivery? Isn't morning sickness similar to car sickness? You should be able to prepare a meal at least.
I told you that I can't. Like I said, it makes me want to throw up just by smelling the food. And it feels a lot worse than car sickness.
But it's not like that's a real sickness. Yeah, I think it was all in your head and you're just lacking willpower.
It's nothing willpower can solve, John. Either way, it would be great help if you could deal with your supper yourself for tonight. You don't have to worry about me.
You can't even prepare dinner for your hard-working husband. If you already can't deal with morning sickness, I can only imagine what else you won't be able to deal with.
I don't think you understand how this feels. It's really tough for some people.
How are you going to go through labor if you're so weak? My mom told me she had morning sickness too and she was pregnant, but she said it wasn't anything she can't bear. You just lack fortitude. You could maybe learn a thing or two from my mom.
Symptoms for pregnancy are different for everyone. And I happen to have a very bad morning sickness. You do know that even the level of pain for labor varies depending on a person, right? Some people even say that their morning sickness is different from when they had their first child and when they had their second child. It doesn't really mean much to compare my case with your mom's.
Well, but it's not like anything is wrong with you. It's in the same category as car sickness or motion sickness. But use that as an excuse to be lazy and slack off all day every day. Stop being a couch potato and do your job.
How am I supposed to do house chores when I can't even get up without throwing up? I'm not doing my job because I'm lazy. I haven't even been able to eat much because of this. It's causing me to have anemia too, and I'd say this is as real of a sickness as other sicknesses.
Don't be absurd. Being pregnant isn't a sickness. Don't you feel bad for real sick people by saying such a thing? Don't put yourself on the same stage as people battling with real sicknesses.
I'm battling with my sickness too.
Oh, come on, Heather. What in the world are you battling with?
So many different things, John. Being pregnant is not as easy as you think, you know. You go through morning sickness, you're bloated all the time, and you get constipated all the time too. There are so many food restrictions too. Like I can't even have any raw food, caffeine. It must be nice to be you. You can drink beer every day, eat whatever you want, and don't even have to worry about being sick the next day.
I deserve all those things because I work hard every day.
Carrying a child and giving birth is just as hard work as your job. It's something that you can't do.
Well, yeah, but simply because it's biologically impossible. Giving birth to a baby doesn't put food on the table like my job. You could at least do simple house chores while you're sitting at home.
That's what I'm trying to tell you this whole time. Why can you understand that there are times that I'm not even feeling well enough to do simple house chores either way? I won't be able to cook anything for you tonight. I'm not feeling well, so I'm going to bed now. John, let me inside the house. Hey, what are you thinking locking me out like this? How could you do this to me?
Shut up. Stay outside where you belong. I made sure and locked all the doors and windows.
Why are you doing this? You know that there's a hurricane coming today, right? The rain and the wind are really bad already. You must be able to see that from the window.
Yeah, I know. So what?
I'm soaked and cold to the core. Please let me in. I'm going to catch a cold otherwise.
No, this is your punishment. For you being so lazy all the time and not doing any house chores. You need to pay for your actions.
I wasn't being lazy. I was resting because I wasn't feeling well. I told you my morning sickness is really bad.
Don't use your morning sickness as an excuse. There's no one in the world that stays sick in bed from a mere morning sickness.
There is, right in front of you. Clearly, you've only known your mother's case. It really depends on the person on how bad it is. What your mom experienced isn't everyone's experience, you know?
I don't need to hear about any other cases to know. It's easy to imagine. Like I said before, being pregnant isn't a sickness, and I shouldn't have to cater to you at all. How many times do I have to remind you of that?
I told you every time that I feel just as sick as the real sickness. Why don't you get it? Being pregnant isn't a walk in the park like you make it out to be. I'm risking my life to do this.
Risking your life, you say? This is the 21st century, for Pete's sake. Do you not realize how much medicine has advanced in the last few hundred years? They say there's hardly any risk for mothers anymore.
What do you need to realize is that even with today's advanced medicine, there are still people who die from labor. Doesn't that mean I'm risking my life for this? And aren't I the only one between us that has to go through that risk? I'm growing a whole person inside me. Of course it's hard on the body.
And that gives you the right to slack off on your job as a housewife, even though I'm working hard every day. Do you mind explaining to me how that's fair?
You make it sound like I'm doing nothing. It's true that I need some more rest times, but other times I'm doing my job, aren't I?
It seemed like you're mostly resting whenever I was watching, especially cooking. I feel like I'm always eating out or have to order takeout recently.
I can bring myself to do other chores, but I really can't cook right now. Just the smell of it makes me throw up. I told you about this so many times. Or are you insinuating that I should cook while throwing up?
You keep saying you would throw up. What about you aren't really throwing up? Stop being so easy on yourself when you aren't even really sick.
Are you accusing me of lying about this? Why would I lie? Why would you even think that? Shouldn't you trust your wife?
How can I trust a wife who doesn't do a job at all? I locked you out so that you learn your lesson, but it looks like you need more time out there. Stay there in the rain and think about what it is you've done.
This is enough. Please let me inside. It can't be good for the child or for me to be out in the cold for so long. Don't you care about the baby's well-being?
I've had enough of your nonsense. Stop using the baby for every excuse. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you get special treatment just because you're pregnant.
I'm not. I'm just telling you the facts. It's really bad for the baby if I'm out in the cold too long like this. Thinking that you don't care what happens to my body is the same thing as thinking that you don't care what happens to the baby. And I don't think you want anything to happen to the baby. Am I wrong?
There's no way there'll be any effect on the baby from you being in the rain for a bit. The baby is protected by your insulated fat and meat wall anyways.
I can't believe you. What are you going to do if I catch cold? Pregnant women can't just take any available medicine. What are you going to do if anything happens to me?
Don't be such a baby. Even if you catch a cold, all you need is a good night's sleep. You over-exaggerate everything, Heather. Man up a bit, will you? Anyways, I'm not letting you in until I see that you've learned your lesson. Why don't you think of this as training for becoming a better self?
You're the worst. Do you even realize how badly you're behaving?
How's it coming? Have you learned your lesson by now?
Do you know how many hours have passed? Even the hurricane has come and gone.
Yeah, you must be exhausted. But well, you needed some time to reflect on yourself. Now, do you know what happens when you neglect your job as a housewife just because you are pregnant? You can come home if you've learned your lesson and you are sorry.
Why should I be sorry? What are you doing is wrong in every way.
What? You are not sorry? Are you kidding me? I guess someone wants to stay out all night? I'm not going to lock the door then. Are you saying you're okay with that?
I don't care because I'm not coming home. You can do whatever you want.
What do you mean?
I'm never going back there ever again. I'm back in my parents' house now, and I will have the baby here with them.
You're with your parents? Are you telling me that you weren't reflecting on your actions outside?
I'm not stupid enough to stay outside in a hurricane, John. I'm with my parents. I call them to come pick me.
What the heck are you doing? This just proves that you haven't learned anything and aren't even sorry.
I told you that I'm not sorry, and that's not the issue here. I had to go to the emergency room. Do you know what you've done?
What, emergency?
Yeah, I got a fever of 102.2 Fahrenheit. And I had to be admitted to the hospital right away. They said that there might be some complications since my body is in a weak state. They said I might be infected by a bacteria or virus. What if that's true? That's going to have an effect on the baby for sure. The baby and I are connected.
There's no way you have that high of a fever. You forget that it's July right now.
It's more difficult not to catch a cold when you get exposed to the rain outside for hours, even if it's summer. It was already dark out too, and my body was cold to the core.
It's still hard to believe that the mere rain would cause a high fever.
It doesn't matter if you believe it. It's the fact I couldn't stop shaking even when my parents finally came and rescued me.
Seriously?
My parents are furious with you, especially my dad. He says he can't trust a man who puts his wife and his baby in danger.
Well, it's not like I purposefully caused you to have a high fever.
I don't think you fully understand how serious of a deal pregnancy is.
I do understand.
No, you don't. You couldn't have possibly done what you did to me if you really understood what being pregnant is like. My parents couldn't even believe me at first when I told them about what happened, because it's so different from how my dad acted when my mom was pregnant.
How so? What did your dad do so differently?
My mom had pretty bad morning sicknesses too. Seeing that, my dad realized that pregnancy is really hard on her body and that she's risking her life to have their baby. So he started doing all the house chores and supported her throughout her pregnancy. Even after I was born, he was just as involved in child raising as my mom, if not more. He never told mom that she was slacking off or accused her for being lazy when she was suffering from her morning sickness.
Doesn't that simply mean that your dad spoiled your mom too much?
How is it spoiling to let his sick wife rest when she's not feeling well? Honestly, if that's your standard, you should never be allowed to rest when you're sick from hangovers from now on. And when you get a stomachache from eating too much, you have to keep working without taking any bathroom breaks. Because those aren't real sicknesses, you shouldn't need to rest either, right? This is basically what you've been saying to me. Do you hear how ridiculous this sounds?
The level of suffering is completely different between those things and your morning sickness.
Why would you even think that my morning sickness is not as big of a deal as those things? It's worse. I'm even suffering from anemia because my morning sickness is so bad. I'm losing so much weight that my doctor keeps warning me that I have to try to put on more weight. The numbers are showing how severe my morning sickness is, but you still think I'm lying? There are some people who get morning sickness so bad that they even have to be admitted to the hospital.
What? You could get admitted to the hospital simply for having a mere morning sickness.
Of course you could. You could also become dehydrated when your morning sickness lasts for a while, and your organs could even start dysfunctioning if it gets really bad. My doctor was warning me that at this pace, they might have to keep me at the hospital to be safe, and that's when you threw me out in the cold.
Well, I was all supposed to know that. This was meant to only be a little punishment. Nothing uncommon for a married couple, I'd say.
When I was already weak, you delivered the final blow by leaving me stranded in the storm for hours. Do you think my already beaten up body could take that? You think that was a little punishment? You lack imagination skills if you seriously thought that.
Well, I didn't know it was so bad.
I tried to explain to you so many times that morning sickness is different for everyone, and I tried to make you understand so many times that mine is really bad. But you never paid attention. You decided to believe in what you thought your mom went through and called me a liar and a lazy wife. I learned the hard way that you trust your mom more than you trust me.
That's not true. I didn't mean for this to happen. I just thought it's July and it's warm out, and I thought you'd be fine. Never in a million years did I expect for this to cause you a serious fever.
I don't think any normal person would do anything like this to anyone, no matter what season it is, especially to a pregnant person like myself. If anything happens to me, the baby's life could be in danger too. How do you not even know that? I'd say even a child knows better than you.
But I really didn't do this on purpose.
Enough with your excuses. My dad wants to talk to you about this whole thing.
What, he does?
He says he's going to call you later. You better answer his call. I don't think you will want to upset him more than he already is.
I'm so sorry, Heather. I was stupid. I promise that I will do all the things around the house from now on. I already did all the cleaning and the laundry. So please come home, I beg of you.
No, I'm not coming home. I prepared the divorce papers. You better sign them.
Hold on a second. I truly regret how I was behaving. I'm so sorry again for underestimating your morning sickness. I did the worst thing a husband can do.
It sounds like you finally realized how horribly wrong you were after talking to my dad. But it's way too late for any apologies now.
I grew up in a household full of men, and that made me ignorant about a woman's body. I didn't fully understand what pregnancy can do to your body. Of course, I know that you tried to tell me a few times, but I didn't really get it. But now I know that I was wrong.
Do you really understand now?
Yes, and I called my mom after your dad had to talk with me. I asked her about what her experience was like during her pregnancy, and she said her morning sickness wasn't too bad when she was pregnant with me. But apparently it was really bad when she was pregnant with my brother.
So you're saying that you had the wrong conception about pregnancy because you only heard about the part of your mom's experience and thought it's supposed to be easy?
That's correct, and now I know that I was wrong. She explained to me how hard being pregnant is.
Did you tell her about what you said to me?
Yeah, I did. And she was furious.
Of course she was.
I was ignorant. I really thought you were just using your pregnancy as an excuse to get away from your chores.
I can't believe you thought I would do that. That proves how much you don't trust me. I don't think it's possible for any couple to stay together when there's no trust between them.
I would never doubt you ever again. This experience proved to me that you are always right. I swear that I will always follow your lead from now on.
Yeah, you might say that now, but you never know when you'll go back to your old self. And you having a misconception about pregnancy is completely separate matter from you locking me out in a hurricane. You have something wrong with your moral sense if you thought it was okay to do that to me. I can be certain that you won't do something like that to our child someday. I don't want to raise a child with someone like that.
No one would ever do that to our child. You have to believe me.
Even though you didn't believe me no matter what, you've got some nerve to say that I have to believe you? How is that fair?
I don't want to break up. I've never even once considered getting a divorce.
Is that so? I would have thought you wanted to get divorced considering all the horrible things you've done to me.
No, that's not the case at all. I didn't know what to expect since everything was new to me, and I think I was kind of panicked with our first child being on the way. I know now that I was supposed to be supporting you instead of taking it out on you. I'm sorry.
I don't want a partner who panics and takes it out on his pregnant wife. I'm going to raise this child with my parents. My dad is way more reliable than you anyways. And I will not forgive you until I see that you truly learned your lesson, so you better keep apologizing forever. After that conversation, I didn't go back to our home until the day I decided to move out for good. I didn't want to see his face, so I picked a day that he's working and packed up everything with my parents. After you put everything in the car, it suddenly dawned on me it really was over, but I knew I was doing the right thing. So I decided to put my past behind me and move forward. That night, my husband called me crying, saying he's really sorry. He said he saw an empty room when he came back home and it really hit him. He wanted to tell me how much he regrets everything he did to me, but I told him off, saying that he shouldn't have done anything he'd regret to begin with. And I hung up the phone and blocked his number. After that, our baby finally arrived. Luckily, both the baby and I are healthy, and now I'm enjoying being a new mom with my parents' support. I will make sure to provide a quality life for this child and try my hardest to be a good mom. I chose to get divorced to protect the child, so I will stay strong and do this without him, no matter what the cost.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.